A royal passion for and interest in an area can really change the place forever, and nowhere's that more obvious than here where I'm standing. Now behind me is a memorial to Prince Albert, husband and consort to Queen Victoria. It was his idea to create this unique centre of culture and learning, commonly known as Albertopolis. This area of South Kensington is proud home to many world-class institutions. Well, I'm going to meet a man who's going to tell me all about Albert, Victoria and Albertopolis, the famous London tour guide, Simon Rodway. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Anna. Lovely to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Now, we've got Albert up behind us, haven't we? And, of course, here's Royal Albert Hall.
Well, the Royal Albert Hall, indeed. One of the better-known aspects of Albertopolis, which is what I'd like to do with you this afternoon, is take us on a little brief walk around Albertopia, some of the little nooks and crannies that people might not know about.
Brilliant.
And some of the facts about the man.
Well, that's great, but before we go, tell me a bit about the man himself. Was he a popular choice of husband for Victoria?
Oh, not at all, not at all. He was the pauper prince from Germany, from Coburg. He was seen as a bit weird. He was seen as, he was liberal, he was educated, he'd done political economy at the University of Bonn, and all the aristocracy at the time are into things like hawking, whoring and hunting, you know, in the great tradition. So Albert comes along and he's into social improvements, so he's very strange.
So what made the difference for Albert?
Oh, the difference was the Great Exhibition, really, of 1851, the world's first trade fair. And Albert, being an internationalist, insisted that foreign manufacturers turn up to this. And they said, oh no, we can't have foreigners here. Just imagine they'll be spreading revolution, they'll be stealing our trade secrets. But he insisted, and it was a thunderous success, really. 6 million people turned up to see it on the newfangled railways. So that was like 1/5 of the population of this country who probably had never left their hometowns before, suddenly came down to their capital city.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, can we start our tour?
Let's go. Let's head off down here.
Great. Simon, these buildings look like they haven't changed since they were built, really. They're beautiful.
Well, absolutely, Hannah. They were built in the 1850s. They look palatial, but really they were built for the middle classes, not the aristocracy. There's lots of money washing through the British economy at this time from the Industrial Revolution. The Victorian period is when the middle classes win the battle for the British establishment off the aristocracy. And the same thing really applies to the monarchy, where you've got Albert and Victoria invent really the middle class monarchy that we have today, where it's all very, home sweet home values, and really it's lots of hard work dedicated to the public good.
Well, do join us again after the break when we'll discover more about the very royal borough of Kensington and Chelsea and Albertopolis. Welcome back to By Royal Appointments. I'm Hannah Scott-Joynton. Today I'm in the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea with Blue Badge tour guide Simon Rodway. Now, Simon, clearly we're at the Victoria and Albert Museum here.
Well, yes, Albert is very important there. Victoria came here in 1898 to lay the foundation stone, and she insisted it wasn't just called the Victoria Museum, it had to be called the Victoria and Albert Museum. She was feeling that her husband, 30 years dead, was not getting enough recognition.
It's a long time to be a widow, isn't it?
30 years is a long time. And it was a blissfully happy marriage. For 22 years, they produced 10 children. And the idea was that they would marry the kids off into the royal families of Europe just to prevent another European World War. And as you can see behind us, maybe that wasn't successful, but the institution itself is a success. We've left bomb damage from the Second World War here on the wall, and this inscription that's been left as a memorial to the enduring values of this great museum in a time of conflict, and that would have been very close to Albert's heart.
Albertopolis covers 100 acres and it's the UK's foremost cultural and educational quarter. In this area alone, there are 3 national museums and 3 universities.
And of course, the tragedy is that Albert didn't live to see any of this completed, dying at an early age of 42. But that's his memorial, and it's a wonderful piece of Victorian neo-Gothic marvellousness, if you like. Somebody described it as a Dickens novel in stone, which is rather wonderful. But his real memorial really has to be Albertopolis, this great assemblage of Victorian public buildings. And you know, what greater testament really to human civilization really than he could have wished for really.